Hey guys, Lucas Sacco here. Before we get into the video, I did want to give a quick shout out to the sponsor, Dueling Guard. They have mats, deck boxes, bags, everything you can think of for TCG apparel. Check them out in the description box down below and use code Sacco for 5% off. Hey guys, Lucas Sacco here. Today we have the post-Rota combo tutorial for the Memento Fiendsmith deck. I personally think that this deck is easily top 3 best decks of the new format, if not the best deck. The deck plays through every hand trap absolutely phenomenally. It's very, very good at going second. The only thing I think this deck really struggles with currently is its ability to play through Shifter, as there's not very many avenues, but the deck also plays through Fool Wallows very, very well, and I'm going to show you how you can do that today. In this combo, we just have the Tatsuno Shigu. And some of the other combos, we did showcase Anguich, as well as all the other combos are showcased on my spreadsheet down below if you want to check that out. But we're going to go ahead and start this combo off here by special summoning the horse, the Tatsuno Shigu, and then on the field, we're going to activate its effect to destroy itself to send a copy of Goblin, Mace, and Gaddock from Archer to the graveyard. There, we're going to activate the effect of Gaddock because it was sent to the graveyard to special summon itself back out, and then on summon, it's going to add the Goblin to our hand. Because we have yet to normal summon, we're going to normal summon the Goblin, and activate the effect of destroying itself to send a copy of Memento Fusion, as well as Aquahorn. This is the new card in the new set. This card is absolutely phenomenal. It's got 3 effects. This card is just insane. But we're now going to activate the graveyard effect of Memento Fusion, banishing itself to destroy our Gaddock, which is then going to allow us to search for a copy of Bone Party. From there, because we did have a monster we control get destroyed, a Memento monster, Aquahorn's effect is going to activate to special summon itself from the graveyard, and then we can just activate the Bone Party. Bone Party is going to destroy our Aquahorn and special summon Darkblade from the deck. Here, we're going to get the effect of Aquahorn to now add back our banished Memento Fusion. So this is where they do have, like, kind of a good spot to nib us. Not exactly yet, because right now we're currently only on like 5 summons, and if they nib us here, we do have Memento Fusion. So we're going to trigger the Darkblade effect. Darkblade is going to get Anguich, and then Anguich is going to get Sleepy. This Sleepy here is usually what you're trying to hold Nibiru for in this deck. This deck doesn't have the best way of playing around Nib. It has Caesar, which they have to commit a lot of bodies to, so you can definitely see it coming when they're doing that. The other option is they have SP. Usually if they're able to get all of their setup up, like generate their spells and their field spell, their trap, all that, and then set an SP up on the field before they summon their 5,000 creation monster, the big guy, it's pretty safe from Nib that way. So it's really just about timing the Nib in this deck. Usually chaining it to Sleepy's effect is really, really good, but in this combo we do play around it. We're now going to activate Memento Fusion, which is going to put back the Tatsuno Shigu, the Darkblade, as well as the Goblin to special summon out the Creation King. On summon, this is going to activate sending a copy of itself, as well as Cranium Burst and our big combined creation from our deck to the graveyard. So here, if they nib us, we have plenty of names in our graveyard. We can shuffle back, we can special summon out, we can search the field spell. We're going to get this set in the end phase, as well as we'll still have Sleepy, so much we can do. Now we're going to activate the effect of the Creation King that is in our graveyard to banish and set itself a copy of the field spell. We're then going to activate the field spell and use the Anguich effect to destroy itself and special summon out Mace from the graveyard, which will then trigger the field spell to then special summon out Gaddock. We're going to use Mace effect to destroy itself to add another copy of Bone Party from our to the graveyard, and then from there we're going to activate Sleepy to special summon itself, and then Sleepy's effect to fusion summon. This would be their best point to nib you here. If they nib you here, you're not going to be able to resolve the fusion unless you do have 2 more Memento names in your hand. However, if they do nib you there, remember you still have the ability to summon back out the combined Creation King, and then you'll pass to your opponent with the Bone Party in your hand. You'll have Cranium Burst set from the field spell, as well as during the opponent's turn, you're going to have like the combined Creation King summon out Anguich to grab a copy of Mace, quick shuffle this back, and then take control of their monsters. So you'll have plenty of disruptions still, even through Nibiru. But we're going to resolve the Sleepy here to fusion summon into Twin Dragon. Twin Dragon's effect to destroy itself. It's going to add a copy of Horn Dragon, as well as a copy of Goblin. This Goblin's just going to sit in our hand for a little bit. But we are going to use the effect of Twin Dragon to then revive our Sleepy, where we're then going to link the 2 monsters into Moon, link Moon into Requiem, use Requiem's effect. We're now going to summon out the new Lacrima, the Scarlet Sorrow. I don't know the exact translation of this name yet, but it is Lacrima, I know that. So we're going to use Lacrima's effect on summon to send the Engraver, and then we can use Engraver's effect to special summon itself back by putting Moon. We can now go ahead and link into Sequence, and then use Sequence effect to fusion summon, putting back the Lacrima, the Engraver, and the Requiem to go into our Desiree. We're now going to special summon this Horn Dragon from our hand, and the reason we're doing that is because we want to make sure that we're safe from Nibiru before we do summon out this combined creation. So we're going to link away the Horn Dragon as well as the Sequence into SP, and then use the Sequence effect to equip onto our Desiree. Now it's time to start shuffling back names. It usually doesn't really matter what names you shuffle back. I do think it's really important to note that Sleepy, Gaddock, and Mace. Those are usually your priorities when you're shuffling things back, just to make sure you have resources in your deck. But now we're going to shuffle those back, special summon back out of the Combined Creation, and during the end phase, we're going to get the Field Spells effect to now set Cranium Burst. So off of one card, you're going to get the same board as a lot of the other combos, except you're actually juicing out just a little bit more material because you're going to get the Goblin. Goblin has a little effect that most people don't know about. It says during the main phase, if you control Combined Creation, discard this card for the rest of this turn. Your opponent cannot target memento monsters you control with card effects. So as soon as you get to your opponent's main phase, dropping the Goblin from your hand is going to protect your Combined Creation from targeting. So they're not going to be able to SP this, which is like a major concern for the board. Like once the Combined Creation is outed, the board does get a lot weaker because you're going to lose your access to your Cranium Burst. We have Goblin to protect from that. In the next combo, I'm going to show you how you can do different variations standing on basically the same board. So with this combo, you just have Goblin. Previously, Goblin was considered to be your worst starter. I think that's still the case now. However, you do have things like the Grand Goblin Biker Imprisonment, the quick play spell that's going to allow you to summon Goblin from your deck a lot more. And so it is important to know your combos for when you do have just Goblin, you're trying to play with Goblin. So we're going to normal summon out Goblin. If you do have Imprisonment, you can normal summon any hand trap, activate it, tribute it, and then special summon out the Goblin from deck. It's the same thing. If you get hand trapped on an Anguish, you can do the exact same thing there as well. To special out Goblin, then do the combo. So here, once we have Goblin in our field, we're going to activate the effect of Goblin. Destroying itself, we're going to send a copy of Gaddock as well as Memento Fusion. Gaddock's going to trigger to special summon out, and then Gaddock on summon is now going to add back a Memento Fusion from our graveyard to our hand. From here, we're going to activate Memento Fusion. It's going to send the Gaddock from our field as well as shuffle the Goblin from our graveyard back into the deck. It's really important that you don't shuffle this Gaddock back since it is only from the field. It's going to go to the graveyard. Now we're going to go into Twin Dragon. We're going to get the Twin Dragon effect here. Twin Dragon is now going to add a copy of Sleepy as well as a copy of our Combined Creation to help us play around Nibiru. From there, we have the Twin Dragon effect to now special summon out Gaddock, and then we're going to special summon Sleepy and activate Sleepy's effect to fusion summon. Sleepy's going to fusion with all three. We're going to go into the Combined Creation, and then from there, Combined Creation's effect is now going to send a copy of itself from the extra deck, copy of Cranium Burst, as well as Akahorn. From here, we're going to activate the effect of Combined Creation in the graveyard to banish itself, adding a copy of the city. We're going to activate it, and then use the graveyard effect of Memento Fusion to destroy our Creation King. We're now going to search for Bone Party, which is going to have a couple triggers here because we're going to get to trigger our field spell, as well as Akahorn in the graveyard to special summon itself out, and the Sleepy. From now, we're going to activate Bone Party, destroying the Akahorn to special summon Anguish, which is going to give us a couple triggers again. We're going to get Anguish effect as well as Akahorn. Akahorn is going to banish your Memento Fusion, which is really good for resources. You don't have to play 3 Memento Fusion in this deck for your grind game anymore, since you are getting to use like everything about this one Memento Fusion. Like, we're getting the fusion summon with it, we're getting the search effect off of it, and then we're putting it right back in our hand after, so we have the resources for next turn too. But then the Anguish is going to resolve. We're going to get our Horn Dragon now. From here, we have the effect of Anguish, which is going to actually destroy our Sleepy to revive the Gaddock. It's not going to do much for us when it comes to like summoning back the Gaddock, but the reason we're doing this is because it's going to get Sleepy's effect to now send, and with that, you're going to send Mace from here to the graveyard. From here, we're going to link into Moon. We're going to link the Moon into Requiem. Requiem effect to tribute itself, summoning out Lacrima, and then Lacrima's effect is then going to send Engraver from our deck to the graveyard. We're going to go ahead and activate Engraver, putting back Moon, and then from there, we can go ahead and equip Requiem onto Sorrow, and go into Necroquip. This is something that's not absolutely necessary in the extra deck, but it is cool here to play around hand traps a little bit. So we're going to link away the Necroquip and the Engraver into Sequence. Sequence is going to activate to put back Requiem, the Lacrima, as well as the Engraver here, to special summon out the Desiree. And then from there, same thing as in the last combo, we're going to special summon the Horn Dragon, and then link Sequence and the Horn Dragon into SP Little Knight, and then we can use the effective Sequence to equip onto Desiree. From there, we're going to special summon out our big old guy here, the Combined Creation, and then we have our board. We're going to get the in-phase effect of the city to go ahead and set our Cranium Burst. One thing I did want to mention here before moving on is that when you do get the Akahorn effect to add back, you can always just use Akahorn to add back Bone Party. It really just depends on what board you're going for, but it doesn't really matter. So the Memento Fusion is going to get added back from Banished, or the Bone Party from Graveyard. Just depends on what kind of board you want to do. The last thing I want to showcase off here for this deck is what this deck does for Fool Wallows. I know that a lot of people are really scared about this deck because it seems like it does a lot of summoning before it actually reaches its end board, which it absolutely does. The deck goes through a lot of hoops, just like Unchained did, just to squeeze out a little bit of resources. But I'm going to show you how this deck can actually play around really well. So here we have just Anguish, and we're going to assume our opponent activates the Full Wallows in the draw phase just for consistency's sake, since it's not really determined where they're going to Full Wallows us, but across all combos, if we just assume they do in the draw phase, we can get a basic idea of what we're doing through this card. So they're going to activate the Full Wallows, we're going to normal summon Anguish, activate the effect to now grab our Tatsunoshigu, we're going to special summon that Tatsunoshigu, activate the effect destroying itself to then send Mace, Goblin, and Sleepy. Anguish effect to destroy itself, we're going to summon back out Goblin, and then we're going to use Goblin's effect to destroy itself, sending a copy of Gaddock and Memento Fusion, and Gaddock is going to activate to special summon itself back. On summon, the Gaddock is going to activate, adding back our Memento Fusion, and then we're going to activate Memento Fusion to give them their first draw. We're going to shuffle back multiple names here, going for the Twin Dragon, and then we're going to activate the effect of Twin Dragon. They're going to get one draw here, but it doesn't really matter since we're going to get so many more resources. We're going to use the Twin Dragon, which is going to search for Combined Creation as well as Akahorn. And then from there, we're going to get the effect of Twin Dragon to special summon back Mace. We're going to use Mace effect to destroy Gaddock. It's going to get our Bone Party to our hand, just make our inboard a little bit stronger here. Now we're going to use Bone Party to destroy the Akahorn in our hand to search for a Horn Dragon. Important thing to remember is that Bone Party does not always summon. You can always add a card from your deck to your hand instead, which is really, really good for playing around things like Full Wallows. Because we did destroy Akahorn, the effect of Akahorn is now going to trigger, which is going to get our Bone Party back to our hand, so our board is getting a lot better as we're doing these little steps. Now we're going to use the effect of Memento Fusion to destroy our Mace and get our copy of Cranium Burst, which is going to trigger the Akahorn to special summon out. From there, we can special summon the Horn Dragon from our hand and give them their second draw to make SP Little Knight, which is going to play around Nib. So off of just one card, we've played around Nib successfully, and we have actually played around Full Wallows really, really good. We've only given them 2 draws so far. Now we're going to special summon out the Combined Creation, putting back 5 names from our graveyard, putting back the Mace, Gaddock, Twin Dragon, Sleepy, as well as the Anguish here. And the reason you're putting back the Anguish is because Bone Party plus Tri-Horn Dragon is actually the best board that you can have, best disruption setup you can have here. So you're actually going to end with like 7-8 disruptions here. Just based off of the 1-card combo, and that's through Full Wallows, giving them only 2 draws. So they're going to have 7 cards in their hand to break 5 disruptions from Cranium Burst. They're going to have the tag out from SP. You're going to have Combined Creation to special summon that Horn Dragon, which then you're going to use Bone Party to destroy the Horn Dragon, special summon out Anguish. And then you'll get the effect of Horn Dragon and Anguish. Anguish is going to search for Mace. Horn Dragon will destroy 2 cards they control as well as the Anguish. And then you still have the Mace effect to discard and take control of one of their monsters. So absolutely an insane amount of disruptions here playing through Full Wallows. Well, that's pretty much everything I wanted to showcase here today for you guys with the new Memento Fiendsmith deck post Rota. Like I said, all of the combos that I showcased here are actually in our spreadsheet, which is down below, as well as it shows every combo through Full Wallows for all decks. I know that's the main thing that people are worried about going into this next format. Everything with the spreadsheet is fully up, though, so go ahead and check that out in the description box down below. And if you wouldn't mind commenting, and subscribing, as well as turning on the notifications for this channel, it does mean a lot to me. Besides that, I just hope that you guys have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.